Well, hi everyone, welcome back to 70mai Outdoors, and thanks for clicking on this different video. As I guess sort of following on from the theme many months ago where I reviewed a third-party solution due to the fact I got an older vehicle. My car before that used to have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto built in, it was all seamless. So I've gone back to, around a 10-year-old vehicle, and it's got none of those mod cons. So I had a third-party solution for, Android Auto. So following on from that, something I wanted and I've never had is a dash cam. Clearly, you've recognised that's what's in my hand here. And it was quite a coincidence because I got an email from a company, 70mai, who asked whether I wanted to review their dash cam. So I thought, okay, I'll do that. And as always, if I'm going to review something, there's no stipulation whatsoever as to what I have to say. It's not a paid review, I don't get any cash, but they said, we'll send you the product, go and test it, see what you think. And that's it, no strings attached. Quick disclaimer, I'm not very technically minded, so when I'm putting this in my vehicle, they've also sent the hardwiring kit, which activates some of the other functions. I've yet to put that in. It's probably above my level of expertise. Don't scoff the vehicle electrician experts out there, but you've got to have some knowledge of your vehicles, fuse box and stuff like that. You've got to know which spare fuses do which and whether you can tap into other fuses, because it's going to activate some features when the ignition's off. So it's the slots that need power. That's above my skill set. So it's probably something I'm going to get done in due course when all the birthday and post-Christmas expenses are all done. So yeah, this one caught my eye. It's got some great features. Number one, it's 4K HDR, so it's billed as some great image quality with a really good Sony image sensor, which is meant to work well at night. I've seen some other YouTube videos out there which I've had a look at some of the sample videos and it looks really good. I've written a few things down so I don't forget, but my initial notes and research, some of the features, obviously 4K HDR being the max resolution. It can also record in 60 frames a second, but not in 4K, that's in 1080. Obviously you don't get any motion blur, and that's great for capturing things like number plates. If you need the footage for insurance claims, touch wood that you don't, but if you do, to maximise your chances of getting a clear reading on a number plate, the less blur the better. So it's got the Sony IMX678 IMX678 image sensor, which is class leading, and it should provide some great video quality. You make your own mind up when you see some of the sample videos later on in this video. It's dual channel, and you also get a rear camera, which is only 1080 in resolution, but the images are nice and sharp and usable on that too. That looks out your rear windscreen. Again, I'll touch on this later in the video, some of the issues that you've got to overcome with the routing of the wires. Now, they include a bit of a pry stroke leverage tool just for getting behind some of the trim, but you've got to take some care there that you're not causing any damage. And usually in the car, it's pretty much just me, so I don't mind having some wires out and about in the vehicle if you don't want to hardwire it in. I have found a bit of a solution. Again, we'll touch upon that later on in this video. It's got a f1.8 aperture lens, which lends itself to being nice and wide open, so you can see of a night and you get some clear images when we get the night footage. Again, make your own mind up in that respect. And some of the smart features of it, again, these are only activated when you've got it hardwired into your vehicle. It's getting power all the time, but it's got smart parking features. It uses AI to detect what it says are threats. I don't know how it works that out, don't know how that works and what is a threat and what isn't. Someone from Royal Mail delivering letters to your house, if they get there, controversial. But I don't know how it works out, who's a threat and who isn't, but it starts recording. It's got an app, so it can integrate with your app. It can give you every 15 seconds GPS locations of your vehicle. So if your vehicle is stolen, and the thieves are silly enough to leave it in situ, the dash cam that is, you will get a location as to where your vehicle is. You can also get a live stream of your vehicle, the interior of the vehicle, when you're using the app too. Just handy features as well. It can do things like lane departure warning. I know some modern cars can do that, but this can give you audio alerts if you're leaving your lanes, pedestrian alerts, cyclist alerts. So it's got some decent technology in this camera too. It's obviously got GPS, so it can give you maps of your route. If there's a collision, you can see the location of the collision, you can retrace your route. It's got your coordinates, your speed, time. So in short, you know, in this era of rising insurance claims, and there's also lots of fake insurance claims out there, isn't there? Stage accidents, unfortunately, more prevalent in some areas than not. A dash cam, in my mind, is something I really wanted to get, and I've never had it, just for peace of mind. And the rear camera as well, tailgaters, that's a particular bugbear of mine, especially when I've got my children in the back, or when there's a HCV driving at like 3 foot away from the rear of my car. That really winds me up. So if you need it, you've got the footage there should you require it. The other thing I'm going to use it for, and again one of the features, is a time-lapse mode. You know, journeys through the mountains, you know, just add into my YouTube videos. I'll be able to use some of the footage when I'm driving in nice scenic areas and build that in to my videos, and indeed you will start to see that in some upcoming content. So there's the hardwiring kit. Main thing is routing of the cables, plugs into your car's 12 volt cigarette socket if you don't want to hardwire it in, which at the moment I'm not, and I'm absolutely fine with that. So without further ado, we'll have a little bit of a look at it in the vehicle. I'll show you where it's sighted, and we'll go out for a drive. We'll do a couple of drives, one in the day, one in the night, using various resolutions throughout, so you make your own minds up as to the footage. But again, thanks for 70mai for sending it. I don't do any reviews where I'm not allowed to speak my mind, and you know, if you want to purchase one, I'll leave the links below. It's not an affiliate link. I don't get anything, so I'm not incentivized to tell you it's better than it is. I get nothing, so I'm giving you my real views on it. So there you go. Let's go for a drive, let's have a look at it in the vehicle, and we'll go from there. Right, obviously, so we're in the car now. I'll just show you where I've got the camera mounted. First of all, although it's difficult probably to make out on the video, there's an anti-static sticker which goes on the windscreen first. Then it's a case of just making sure it's nice and level, and it can be removed. There's a mounting plate which sits on there like so. So you can take your time, obviously move your rear view mirror out the way just to make sure it's sighted correctly. And then there's this bit of a raised section on here that just slides in. It's difficult doing it one-handed. I'm trying to film, but slides down and then it clicks into position. There we go. And that is the camera, nice and secure. So if we go around to the other side here, you can see you can rotate the camera with this sort of silver coloured section. I've got that perfect, and I'll show you when we look at the image when we turn the ignition on. So in terms of wiring, what you would do is, if you're going to hardwire it, is use that tool to just gently pry some of that trim away and route it down the pillars. And then the fuse box in this vehicle is just underneath the glove box. You can have it really neat. I don't want to do that at this moment in time, because I'm not always going to be using it, and I just didn't want to commit at this stage to hardwiring it into the vehicle. So your only other option is to use your vehicle's 12 volt sockets. So I'm quite lucky, I've got two here, even though it's an older vehicle. So this is the one that you get with the kit. You've obviously got a double there, so it's nicely split. But I've got a bit of a workaround in that this standalone kind of sat nav unit that I've got here, this has got a USB-A out, so it provides power. So what I've done is, just to make it a bit neater, I'm simply powering that, and that is providing power to the dash cam. So it's nice and handy. All I've got to do, and I could get obviously a much shorter lead, plug it in. Now, some people hate having wires everywhere. If that's the case, you know, hardwire it in yourself and then you sort of overcome that problem. But I never leave this attached when I'm parking my vehicle or overnight. You know, a lot of the thieves out there are opportunistic, and they'd see that and think it was an expensive sat nav, not knowing obviously you can't sort of use it just without certain other accessories. So anyway, so that now provides power to my unit. So we've now turned the ignition on, and that instantly provides power to this sat nav, and that in turn, as you can see, has just powered up the dash cam. So that's a good way of getting around it. So what I'm going to do is get a shorter lead from here. You know, my view as a driver isn't obscured at all. I'm absolutely fine when I'm driving the vehicle. I'm sitting nice and high, so I've got a good view to my near side, you know, and the camera doesn't really pick it up properly. But yeah, that's the camera running. As soon as you turn it on, it automatically goes on. You can choose to have the screen on, always off. There's absolutely tons of settings. Now it comes with a rear camera, so for the purposes of this review, I've placed the rear camera on, as you can see it there. I won't be attaching that all the time, and I'll tuck those wires out the way until I consider whether I get it hardwired in. And again, it's going to go around the pillars and underneath the lining all the way through to the same fuse box area, which is obviously under the dashboard. But for the purposes of this review, I've got the lead running down the vehicle, and that's just another micro USB which attaches onto the side of the unit there. And then we get the rear feed as well, so it automatically records. The rear camera is 1080, but the images are crystal clear and pin sharp. So when we're doing our little bit of a demonstration drive, we will have that attached, and you will see in this video images from the rear camera and the front facing camera. We'll go for a drive, look at the text below this video because I'll put a lot more detail in there. So if you look at how easy it is to navigate the settings, I'm just going to change this now to, I've got the recording duration set for 1 minute. I think that's absolutely fine. You can obviously do it a lot longer. I've got a 32 gig card in, but the resolution at the moment, I'm going to change that. It's on 4K, obviously 2160. It can record in 60 frames a second at 1080. It can't do that in 4K. The 60 FPS setting isn't there obviously for 4K, as you can see. But we'll look at a sample. We'll look at 4K, and then we'll switch it to 1080 at 60 FPS. I'll put some text on the screen so you can like see what the difference is between the two and which settings you're looking at. But the menus are really sort of easy to navigate and things like that. You got this setting here, parking security. So it's got collision detection. It's got built-in GPS, so it knows our coordinates, which is handy. It's going to know our speed. Again, in the event of spurious insurance claims, it's going to come in really handy. So it's got motion detection. If you get a parking surveillance cable, when you've got it hardwired into your vehicle, it's going to see people mooching around. It's going to look for faces. And again, if you don't have that, it will still activate if it senses movement within the vehicle. Again, if you've got it hardwired in. So my setup, it's only going to start recording when I've got the ignition on. As soon as I turn the ignition to the vehicle off, it's going to turn itself off, just like this. But for me at the moment, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to make some inquiries with local workshops and dealers just to see if they've got someone who can look at getting this hardwired in, because it's going to be peace of mind, isn't it? For me, standard of driving is pretty poor at the moment, not getting any better. Loads of people, you know, if you're observant, they're using the phones, they're on Facebook, they're on all kinds, and every now and again they'll, you know, look up at the road. So yeah, the amount of insurance claims and the amount of money that we're paying for our car insurance, it's ridiculous. But even for me, you know, for my wild camping videos, just to make time lapses, and you can actually choose time lapse video mode on this, the ability to, you know, just change some of the footage up when you're driving through the mountains, capturing that lovely scenery in 4K, you know, making extra bits of it for your videos and time-lapse segments. That's absolutely great. So we're going to film a bit of daylight driving in 4K in 1080 at 60 frames a second, and then we're going to do exactly the same nighttime driving in 4K 1080. We'll look at the results, not edited whatsoever. It's just the raw files I'm going to put into the video, and we'll see how it gets on. So let's go for a drive. So that concludes my review. I know this video is quite in-depth, it's quite long, so yeah, if you're not interested in dash cams, hopefully you've skipped it. But if you're looking at this product, and I'm not a tech reviewer, I've just given my honest thoughts. So yeah, that concludes my review of the A810 HDR 4K dash cam by 70mai. I think it's reasonably priced. It's obviously quite a saturated market. You know, what have I got to compare it with? Well, the honest answer is nothing, because I've never used a dash cam before. But all I can say is, as someone who's brand new to dash cams, it's simple to get it set up. You can get it operating. Those of you that are a stickler for neatness and tidiness, you'll definitely want to get the hardwire kit. And obviously that's what enables some of those additional features when it's running off your vehicle's battery. When the ignition's off and you're out of your vehicle, it's locked and secure. Don't worry too much about it draining your battery. I think the amount of current it draws is absolutely negligible. So it's not going to do anything to your charge or your battery. You know, it's not eating it away in the background there. So in terms of video image quality, I'm impressed. I do like the overlay at the bottom of the screen showing you your speed, various parameters and things like that. For me, the 1080-60 is more than enough. I think it's absolutely fine. There's nice clarity, even in the dark footage. Don't forget though, with the 4K, you do have that scope to zoom and crop in. So if you're after that all important number plate detail for whatever reason, you'll be able to get that with the 4K, and it's going to let you zoom in without losing that detail in the image. So again, thanks for sending it. If you've got any questions, I'll try and answer it. If there's anyone local to me in the West Lancashire area who's good at hardwiring things in, let me know in the comments. Or likewise, if you're from this area and you know someone who can do things like that, I'd be really grateful if you'd let me know. Don't worry, there won't be any more dashcam videos. It was just something I could have done with my car. And it was a good opportunity, and I'm grateful for having the opportunity to test this bit of kit out. I'll see you on the next wild camping video. Thanks for your time. If you're a regular subscriber and you've spent the time anyway just watching this through, and yeah, I'll see you on the next outdoor adventure. Take care.